There's been a lot coming up for me in this transition, and
Mm.
that patience has been something I've been called to practice because I know it's there. I know the new place is happening. I know that they're just getting it ready, but that in between has really been unsettling at times. Because welcome to Healing Conversations podcast.
Podcast.
Yes. Hello, 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 everyone. Welcome back to Healing Conversations podcast.
Podcast.
Yes, y'all already know this is our space that we come together every week and we talk all things healing, all things expansion, all things growth. And we bring where we are into this space because we are firm believers of leading by example and not telling you
Mhm.
something that we're not currently doing in our life. And I always say, as we heal individually, we send that riffle out into the collective and show them that change is possible through our just everyday beingness.
Yes. And I want to just add on that real quickly how important it is to be around people, be learning from people, be associated with people who are practicing what they are sharing with you. If they are suggesting a certain practice or tool or technique, make sure that they tried it out first. It's just like you don't really trust people who don't want to eat their own cooking.
Just saying.
Just say it. Just say it. And we love when you all engage with us and tell us how you are being impacted by these practices, by these tips. It helps the community at large see that we can work through our challenges. We can navigate through the painful experiences. We can get to another side of what we are being held back by. We get to
Mhm.
break the limitations. And so when you share with us on Instagram, on YouTube, in our DMs, and our emails, it lets us know that these things are activating transformation in your life. And that's what this really is about. So hit us
Mhm.
up on Instagram at Raymell Bentley or at VZ Spaces and let us know how this is impacting you because this is a community discussion, y'all.
Yes, yes. And I'm excited for today's conversation. I feel like as Sister Angelique and I were just chatting before we press record, this is going to be something very supportive for myself.
And me.
Let's just say that. And I really feel like it's going to support a lot of people because we're going to dive into today practicing patience. Like really get into the root of where the impatience stem from and when we're in transition in life, how it feels so heavy at times, how it feels so lonely at times,
Mm,
how you feel a lot of times lost. And that in between, a lot of times we don't really talk about why it is heavier for some and just heavy in general for others, depending on the variety of what that may be for you. And I know for myself, I'm currently in a space of transition. I am, and at the time of recording this, like in the process of moving from my current location to another. And there's been so much that has come up for me while being in this experience. For one, the length of time I've been in my current location, it's been almost 8 years. So that's a good window of my life that I've spent here. And there's a lot of memories, a lot of moments, a lot of things that I have just accumulated in regards to attachment to that I didn't realize how attached I was until like I found out that I would be moving, until I knew that it was actually real. And then I started to pack, and a lot of things start to unpack for me.
mm,
The just the feel and tone of safety and security has been something that I've yearned for as a child. So as an adult, I always wanted to make sure that's something I felt in my living environment. So once I was able to get that here, it felt like, okay, I don't want to leave this because it's safe, it's secure. And the disruption of moving, there's been that feeling of, okay, is the next thing safe? Is the next thing secure? And there's been a lot of just things coming up for that. And in the process of me in transition, I looked at a couple units in my new location that I'm moving into. And for some reason, the first one that I looked at, it wound up being rented. The second one I looked at, it was cute. It was cute, but it wasn't really like I wasn't excited about it.
Mm,
And in the midst of it, like I'm like, okay, this is cute, and I just surrendered. I said, universe, if this is what you want from me, I will just be grateful and accept it. But underneath seeing it, I'm like, but I do want something bigger, more homier, and I just thought about it, but I didn't dwell on it. And the place that I wasn't in love with, there wound up being another unit in this building that was bigger, spacious, all the things. So I'm like, okay, universe, you hear me, but there was someone currently staying there. And they hadn't moved out. So there was a little delay in them moving out, and they moved out. So now they're working on things. So I thought I was going to be moving in at a certain time. It's not happening in that time because they're still doing some work on the unit. And I find myself in this angst.
mm,
I want to move. When am I going to move? I need to know. And in the midst of that, there's been a lot coming up for me as I've been in this impatience. As I was sharing with Sister Angelique before we hopped on, there's been this feeling of underlying waiting for a ball to drop, waiting for it not to be as good as I would hope or think. And there's this underlying feeling of waiting for a rug to be pulled up from under me, thinking
mm,
that the bubble of like it's there, it's not going to be. And that feeling has been coming up for me. And though I know that's not true, the stories that my mind is telling me in regards to what may happen or what may not happen, but that feeling is true. It is real. And as I was sharing with Sis Angelique, as a child, I was used to being told that I was going to get something, being told that someone was going to do something for me. And then I waited, I was excited, thinking, okay, I'm about to get this toy or go to this place or do this thing. And then it didn't happen. So I didn't realize how that feeling tone of always being ready to be disappointed because things just never worked out. I didn't realize how much of that I was carrying.
mm,
And this move, this in between, has been bringing up a lot of things for me in regards to having to really sit with that feeling and allow that feeling to come up. And there's been a lot of sadness. There's been a lot of um, feeling worry for like just is. So the angst of, oh my God, is it gonna happen? When is it gonna happen? Um, and unworthiness. Am I worthy for the new place?
mm,
Am I worthy to have the upgraded things? Am I just meant to have what I have and that's all there is? So that's been coming up in regards to feelings. And I've been honoring them. There's been moments where I've just will be in a sadness and a tear come out and I have to honor it, or there'll be just I feel like blanked out. Meaning
mm,
I'm there, but I'm not really. The other day at the gym, I wasn't really feeling talkative, and I had to honor that. Didn't force myself to be hey bubbly because I wasn't where I was. But yeah, there's been a lot coming up for me in this transition, and
mm,
that patience has been something I've been called to practice because I know it's there. I know the new place is happening. I know that they're just getting it ready. But that in between has really been unsettling at times because there's
mm.
a lot of emotions flowing through me. So I'll end it there. And I want to hear what Sister Angelique has to say.
Yes. I thank you for sharing, first of all. Um, and I know that this is our opportunity to be open and be vulnerable and get our healing and do some processing. And I just really feel that every time we get on here, because this is where we are, you know?
Hmm.
And so I just really appreciate you coming from that space and allowing your points of awareness to be opportunities of awareness for everybody listening to this, including myself. Um, and as I was hearing you share about being a child and having these expectations, because children are totally trusting. You say we're going to go pet dinosaurs. They really think, we really think, because I used to be a child, right? We really think that we're about to go pet dinosaurs.
Hmm.
And as we get older and more of those situations happen, like Raymell was talking about, where someone tells us something, but then it doesn't come through, we start to get guarded and we start to get jaded and we start to anticipate being disappointed. And I know for myself, there were many times when I was told that something was going to happen going on a trip, uh, going to have a certain thing for dinner, even, like just really having your expectations set for something and then having that disappointment. And I think for me, I started to frame that as being realistic
Mm.
and just being aware that, not everything works out. And as I've been going on this journey of personal development, spiritual development, expansion in my thinking, I realize how limiting of a belief that is, that it sets my mind up to not have the faith, not have the trust in the universe that what I'm asking for will actually be fulfilled. And that's counterproductive. If we just put it that way. And that's why it's so important, like Raymell was saying, to honor when those things come up, yet hold a deeper knowing in yourself that as I am in this kind of limbo season situation, it's not to disappoint me, it's to grow me, it's to allow me to dive deeper into myself, to get into the root of these feelings that are coming up. And I was sharing with Raymell before we pressed record how I got this tap from the universe to disrupt my own comfort. And I am navigating what that's like, because when I would get some sort of signal to move or leave or just do something, change something, it would be really dramatic. And I was having this feeling of like, I really appreciate where I am. I know this is an answered prayer. So what is it that this nudge is actually calling me to do? And oftentimes we will ignore the nudges because we want to continue being in our comfort. And then we start to see things continue to nudge us and continue to poke at us and continue to wave the flags. And then something crazy happens. And we're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this happened.
Hmm.
But I am at a point in my personal practice where I don't allow things to get to that. I allow myself to sit with the feeling and the instruction. And I've disrupted my comfort so that I could be in a space where I'm able to listen, where I'm able to be aware, where I'm able to unpack what feelings are coming up for me. Um, and I do have a vision of myself owning my own home and being in my own space and things of that nature. And that was sort of where those nudges were coming from. Like anytime I would have some sort of irritation or frustration about, again, this blessing that I literally just told y'all, this is an answered prayer, it is a blessing. Anytime I would have some sort of little frustration, I would be like, man, when I get my own house, when da 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 da. And so I know now because I've been obedient that um the nudge to move, that feeling of I gotta change something, gotta do something, was partially my ego
Mm,
telling me, oh, you need to just go do your own thing and leave all this stuff and da 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 da, all of that stuff where I used to be, where I used to operate from.
mhm,
And it's also partially me being aware that I had not been doing what I needed to do in order to bring about the vision of being in my own home. And so it really is a strong point of self accountability that comes in these moments when we have something that's being presented to us and it's taking a little bit longer than we anticipated, or we keep getting breadcrumbed, right? Or we get a signal to operate in a certain way, um, but we're not really sure because we really like what we're at. We don't want to change the things. It's about being accountable to oneself and say, okay, what are the adjustments within me, within my thoughts, within my energy, within my routines, within my patterns, within my habits, within my conversation that can be adjusted so that I can actually appreciate that this vision is coming into fruition, that I can actually appreciate that I have the power and the capacity to um, bring whatever I desire into my life at this very moment, and have the peace with whatever the gestation is and not feel irritated or uncomfortable or feeling like a ball's about to drop. And I'll just land that there because I feel like I
mhm.
would keep talking. So I'll just land
Because it's such a
it
juicy
there.
conversation. Like it's a
Yes.
juicy topic. So I feel that. And I just loved your share because it really resonated. And I love that you even spoke to the energy of it. Because when we really think about it, like, and even saying like you can visualize that feeling, that thing in this moment because it's already here. And I love that you brought the energy because y'all, it's the feeling of anything physical that we say we want or we're so ready to receive. It's the feeling of the receiving of it that we are really chasing, are excited about. And I love that you spoke to that because it's really, we can feel it now. I
Mm-hmm.
don't need to be in my new place to feel like I'm in my new place. And by the impatience and me feeling like the new place is going to be that excitement, it doesn't allow me to be excited where I currently am. And I can
Hmm.
feel excited now and the knowing and the visualization of already being at the new destination. So it's like I can feel that now. And the
Mm-hmm.
reason is because that energy is within me. And it's literally like a button that I push within myself and it activates excitement. And throughout my day, I'm in that energy of excitement. And I have the ability to tap into that at any moment,
Yeah.
any moment. It's not a certain moment or a certain time, it's any moment. And I'm so glad we're kind of just tapping into this for just a bit because this is really the juice of just why a lot of times that feeling of impatience is because we think once we receive something or do something, then we can press the button.
Mm.
as
Mm.
a